very overrated, but everybody wants to move there. Are you still on a track to becoming a lawyer? What is the hardest thing about being in a different city than everybody that you know? Like, I have nobody. When are we getting a furnished house tour? I want to take like a year off and just like rekindle my mind. Now this is a really good question because it's kind of hard for me to say this.
I wanna see you do better. Fly, I'ma need a propeller. Fly when it's cold on the wall like a sweater. Sweater when I'm high in the train in the weather. Only had one time you can hear my voice. I sing my song, control.
Hey pretties, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a life update. Your girl has not done one, I want to say like in 2.5 years. That's a very long time, and I didn't realize that until recently. That's why I'm able to come on here and do one, because I really haven't updated you guys technically in my life in 2.5 years. I also be doing like a lot of vlogs now, so I be feeling like I don't have to do too much on life updates because y'all really see my life like every week, so y'all see what's going on like throughout the week anyway. But you guys be having so many questions that you ask me on Instagram, and also I feel like I'm gonna fill you in a little bit of my life, what's been going on as well. So I was like, I need to do a life update, just keep my pretties in the loop, keep y'all updated on what's going on. So today's gonna be a life update on your girl's life. You're gonna stay up to date, and I haven't put y'all on in a minute, so I'm here to give y'all all the tea, all the answers to your questions, and also a few topics that I want to discuss because you guys haven't asked me a lot about these things, and I feel like I can help you guys with like a little bit of tips and advice as well. So without further ado, let's get right into this life update. So I'm gonna start with the questions that I got on my Instagram, just so I can get those out the way because I know you want those answered first, and then we'll move on to the topics that I have that are based on the many questions that I got on this one topic. So I just wanted to do like, you know, topics on each subject so I can get that out the way. Let's just get into it. So first question is, do you think you will move on to another state? Which state? So yes, I do feel like I'm gonna move somewhere else. I mentioned this plenty of times before. Obviously I'm not too for certain. I keep telling you guys, oh, I'm gonna move to Atlanta, you know, so that may happen, it may not happen. I mean, honestly, however life goes, it goes. I like to go with the flow thing. Like if I say I'm gonna go somewhere and it doesn't end up happening, I'm gonna try to still make that happen. But if signs are telling me that it's not gonna happen, or if you do it like it's not gonna benefit you, or it's just gonna, you know, not like go right for some reason, or it's just like not gonna be worth it, basically, I don't end up choosing that, even if I know I really want to go. Yeah, you guys know, like I said plenty of times, that I want to go to Park Atlanta because I want to live in Atlanta. That school I'm gonna choose just to go there, just so I can live in Atlanta and have that experience of living there, because I really want to live there. I hear you guys, a lot of people saying it's overrated, this, that, and third. Understandable, because that's exactly how I feel about my home city, which is New York City. Very overrated, but everybody wants to move there. I don't know why. We're very much full. Like, we've been full for like the past century now. I ain't gonna say too much on that. So yeah, I definitely understand, you know, people that live in Atlanta or from Atlanta, like that say like, where was I at? Diamond just literally threw me off. Where was I at? Yeah, like I said, I understand people that are from Atlanta, you know, or grew up in Atlanta, like, oh, it's overrated. I understand that for sure. Atlanta's not like somewhere I like, oh, I'm moving to Atlanta. Like that's not like oh my gosh, like I definitely gotta go there on the top of my list. But it's definitely like, you know, in the back of my mind, like, and as I can see, I didn't end up there, right? I ended up in Maryland. But that's because I chose a place that was gonna be best fitting for me and beneficial more for me for educational purposes, because I didn't just want to go just for like my benefit and not really for school, even though I was gonna go to school, obviously, because I'm in school right now. But I don't know, I just feel like it all worked out in the long run because I wouldn't get distracted out there. I'll stay focused in school, and I'm not really a hard person to distract. If I'm being honest, I could stay focused. But if we're being real here, Atlanta's Atlanta, come on, like there's a lot of things going on there. We know what goes on there, and I want to stay focused. And being somewhere like Maryland, which is peaceful and quiet, it really did help me in the long run. So I'm really actually happy about my choice. I don't really regret it at all. And it's so funny because I never really wondered like how I thought I would live in Atlanta. Like, oh, how would it be? Or like I regret not going there, because I don't. I like to take my time and get things done and move on to the next step. So for my next chapter, if I do end up in Atlanta, I end up in Atlanta, but we don't know for sure yet, because like I said, I like to go with the flow. So whatever happens, happens. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not gonna be too pressed about it. I'm always gonna go what's beneficial for me, what's gonna, you know, help me in the long run. If I feel like I get opportunities out there, I will go. Or if I just really see myself still going there, I will go. But like I said, it always depends on what's the next step. You know, hopefully going to school right now, I can get a paid internship to a law firm, and I'll just stay out here. And I definitely would stay out here. I'm not gonna sacrifice my job to go somewhere that I don't know if I'm gonna get a job there. So, you know, hopefully, fingers crossed, I do get a paid internship somewhere in Maryland or somewhere in general. It doesn't really matter to me, because I'll move wherever is that to, you know, pursue my dreams of being a lawyer. So if I get an opportunity out here, I will stay out here. I have so many things that I haven't even told you about that I want to do. Me being me, it's not even against you guys. It's just like to people in general that I know personally too. I'm not gonna tell them that do something until I actually already in the process of doing it, and I'm honestly about to just get it done already, because I hate a person that talks so much and they don't do nothing. Like, I just hate a person like that. Or I just hate like like when I say something and it doesn't fall through and the person's asking like, oh, what happened? Like, I thought you was gonna do that. I thought you were gonna do this. I thought you were gonna get this. I thought you were gonna get that. I don't want to like disappoint myself and then have other people look at me like, oh, like she didn't end up doing what she said she was gonna do, you know, because I don't like that. Y'all see what happens in the future, and I'll see too, because it's gonna be a surprise for both of us. So whatever happens, happens. Next question is, how is school going? School is going pretty good at the moment. I am struggling, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I am struggling in one class, which is physics, because I was never good at math, y'all. And I kid y'all not, I was always expressive of this since ever when I was in high school, which I understand why I was in honors class, because in my middle school I ended up for some reason passing my algebra test, and I never understood why, because I never got nothing. Yeah, I don't remember the last time I actually like understood something that was going on in math class. Me and math class, we never got along. So it's October right now, and the last day of classes are around December-ish, so I have roughly less than 2 months to get my grades up. I don't know how that's gonna be possible considering the fact that I don't know what's going on, and nobody in my class knows what's going on either, and nobody wants to help each other because they don't know what's going on themselves. And it's too late to drop classes, because I swear y'all, I was thinking about dropping the class. I was like, no, I could do it. I never give up. I could do it. No, I should have did it. I should have did it, because I am struggling and I'm gonna regret this when my GPA goes down. But it's so funny how like my whole years of high school and middle school, I always had 89s and 95s and 98s in all my math classes. And my math classes were like the lowest grades I ever got, because I always had A's in every class, but I like have like a high B or like a low A in the class. And every other class, like my ELA, history, all that sort of classes, I had like a 95, 98, 100, like literally. In that one class, I had like an 89, 92, like 91, 90. So it's not really surprising for me, but yeah, I kid you not, the teacher really sucks. So it's kind of funny how today I'm doing good, but that one class I'm not doing good in. But in general, I'm doing good. If you know anybody that's good at physics, or if you're good at physics, please help your girl out. Please DM me, because I need a math tutor ASAP. Next question is actually still referring to college, which is, are you still on a track to becoming a lawyer? As I said earlier in my first question, I am still on track to becoming a lawyer. I am in school right now for psychology. One thing a lot of people don't know about being a lawyer, which I didn't know either, you literally major in anything that you want in college and you can still get your law degree, because you have to go to law school anyways. So honestly, I'm not gonna say it doesn't really matter, but it really doesn't matter, because you still gotta go to law school anyways to get your law degree. So it's actually kind of beneficial if you take like other majors if you want, just so you can have a major in something as you're pursuing your law degree, because you still have to go to law school. I was a political science major, which is one of the majors that they really recommend you do if you want to be a lawyer, or you could be a psychology major, which I should have chosen in the first place. My high school college advisor at the time told me I need to take political science because that's what they call for, whatever. They don't have a pre-law major, which my school doesn't, and I ended up going with that, and I hated it because I was not interested in it. So psychology I'm really interested in, because honestly I just feel like I could pursue something in psychology as a way in to get my law degree, because you know law school takes a couple of years as well. Because I'm also really interested in being like a forensic psychologist, you know, things of that nature. I'm really fascinated about the brain, how it works, how powerful the mind is, which really makes sense why I'm so into like psychological thrillers. I just love that, like how the mind, like I don't know, can be manipulated and all of that. Like I just love that. So yes, just because I'm a psychology major doesn't mean I'm not gonna be going in to pursue law, because I still could do that. So for anyone that's interested in becoming a lawyer, just know that you could major in literally anything, because I wasn't aware of this until literally last summer. Speaking of my major, the next question is, what's my major in college, which is psychology. What is the hardest thing about being in a different city than everybody that you know? The hardest thing to me probably is not having no friends, because I'm used to having friends back at home. I have so many friends, and it's so crazy because all my friends that are away at school now feel the exact same way. They feel like they have no friends. And I thought I was alone, but I'm not, so I feel a little bit better. It's like they're so far away, like somewhere in Virginia, somewhere in Florida, somewhere in North Carolina, literally all over the place, honestly. So it's like I couldn't even like, you know, call them like, oh, come over, like let's hang out. And we're all not in New York no more. Like I have nobody. That's one of the hardest things, because I don't have nobody. Like even my immediate family that I really want to call, you know, when it's an issue. Like, I have family out here, but not like family like I'm aware with, that I really want to talk to, and people that I actually grew up with and actually like know personally, like immediate family, like I said before. Next question is a question that you guys have been asking for so long, which is, when are we getting a furnished house tour? And it's so ironic how I've been asked this question for this video, because I'm actually getting furniture delivered to my house today. So I'm really excited because we're getting down to the final like full furnished tour, and I'm really like annoyed that I didn't do like a empty apartment tour. It was just too much going on that day, y'all. It was literally too much. I don't even want to talk about it. But yes, it's been a whole year, y'all, be living here, and I still haven't furnished my whole apartment. And for some, it might be surprising. It's surprising for me as well, because I thought like after like probably like the longest 6 months, y'all, I have my apartment done, but it still has not been completed. And that's because when I'm working on one room, I want to stay on that one room and just focus on that one room. So like it's kind of been hard for me to be like, oh, let me just put this room on pause and work on this one next. Which that's why it took me so long to go from my glam room back to my bedroom, because my bedroom was very much empty and just bland for so long. Honestly, I'm kind of lying, because I did my bedroom and my glam at the same time, but I just feel like I worked so hard in my glam room because where I film at the most, like this is what you're gonna see most of the time in my weekly vlogs, you know, my videos like right now in general. I wanted to make sure that it was, you know, presentable and like me, and express what I wanted y'all to see. If you're a new subscriber and it's your first time watching me, I want you to be like, oh, so this is how she is, this is her style, because I really want my room to represent who I am. So with that being said, a lot of expenses went into this room. That's why I was focused on one room at a time, but I didn't want to spend too much at one point, you know, and be like, damn, like my bank statement is saying $12,000 a month. Girl, calm it down. Also, moving is really difficult and hard. I'm very particular about how I spend my money when it comes to like stuff that I know I'm going to keep for a very long time. The one thing I never really thought about when I got my apartment was, am I going to like this furniture item for a very long time, or is it going to be like a temporary use? I want to make sure every furniture piece that I get, I'm going to love for like many years. I don't want to keep changing my decor every single year. Basically what I'm saying is I'm very indecisive, so your girl has basically just now made final decisions. And I've been saying that so many times, but every time I make a final decision, I'm like, and then I end up finding something better, you know, and it's just like, oh, I want that one instead. Like, it's just been too much. And at the current moment, we're on to like the final pieces for my living room, which I know that's the only thing that's really not done. Living room, I feel like was one of the last things that I really worked on, was honestly because I wasn't really spending that much time in there. And now I actually am, so I really want to finish it now. At the beginning, I feel like I was spending so much time in my glam room, my bedroom, because I had stuff, you know, going on in each room. Like I had the furniture in each room, and also I just feel like because I had my parents come over a lot during that time when I first moved in, that I wasn't really trying to like, you know, add furniture, because I feel like since I don't have a guest bedroom, I didn't want to like, you know, not have somewhere for them to go. But it was just too much. Like it was just too much going on at once. I changed the color of my living room so many times. Literally got my living room down pat to what I want now, but at the time, y'all, I had so many different color schemes. At one point I wanted one color, and then I wanted a different color. Like I didn't want to like get one color and then I'm like, damn, I wish I got this color, because that's how I really was feeling after I placed the order for one thing, and I was like, actually cancel that because I don't want that. But just know I'm gonna make sure it's coming. I'm not gonna say coming soon, I'm just saying it's coming. Plans for after college. After college, like I said, I'm going to law school, but I want to take like a year off and just like rekindle my mind, get my mental health together, and just take a break and then go to school the next following year, which a lot of people I know suggest that you go right to school right after. That's why after high school I'm gonna right to college right after. But honestly, y'all, I've been going to school for what, the past 12 years straight, and then we're gonna add on an extra 4 years from college. I need a break, and I am gonna take it. I'm gonna obviously try to find like a job in the field that I graduated in, which is psychology, so that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, still do YouTube, obviously. I'm gonna try to do a lot of things while I'm taking my year off from law school, and obviously study. Also, you have to really do good on the test to even get accepted into a nice law school. That's why after high school I'm gonna right to college right after. But honestly, y'all, I've been going to school for what, the past 12 years straight, and then we're gonna add on an extra 4 years from college. I need a break, and I am gonna take it. I'm gonna obviously try to find like a job in the field that I graduated in, which is psychology, and still do YouTube because obviously that's my job. Also, like you guys know me, I like to experience new things. I'm gonna try to do a lot of things while I'm taking my year off from law school, and obviously study also. So long story short is I'm trying to do a lot of things while I'm out of college, just so I can, you know, rekindle, refresh my mind. How's my mental health right now? My mental health is pretty good. I do have my ups and downs. Sometimes I do feel like kind of like down. I don't know how to explain it because I never really like called myself depressed, and I don't feel like I am depressed. I don't like to use that word really heavily unless like, you know, I'm diagnosed with it or whatever, or somebody like tells me like, oh, those are symptoms of it. Because I feel like a lot of people when they say depressed, they use it really heavily, like, oh, I'm depressed, and I just hate how like they try to make it so glorified, like it was a good thing to be depressed. I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too much of it, but I just feel like sometimes I'd be like high and low. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like sometimes I have like my days where I can have a balanced day, I'm very productive. The next day I'm like not doing nothing. I just honestly will just get to just do my whole hygiene routine, take a shower, brush my teeth, wash my face, just feed my dogs, walk my dogs, and literally that'll be it for me today. And I'll just be feeling like dead inside. I don't know, like I just be feeling like, you know, kind of like out of it. I honestly just be feeling like the world be moving too fast for me, and I be moving too slow and I can never catch up with it. I don't know, like sometimes I just feel like maybe I'm too hard on myself. Right now though, it's good, but like I was explaining how I be feeling like at times. Do you miss living in New York City or do you prefer living out of New York City? Now this is a really good question because it's kind of hard for me to say this, but I really prefer living out of New York City. I just miss the people that are in New York City that I love. No, I don't miss living in New York City. I really don't. Only thing I miss is not having to pay no bills because my mom paid no bills. I want to build my credit, so I have to start paying my credit card bills, you know, so it's like, it's whatever. Now that was all the questions that you guys had on Instagram for me to answer. That was very, very frequent. And now I'm going to get into the video topics that I have, which is a whole lot, but we're going to move fast because this video is probably already too long. So get your notebooks and your pens because we're going to get into a lot of information that you guys will need because you guys have been asking me this for the longest, and I feel like I'm in the right state of mind, financially, mentally, physically, all the above, to help you guys with these topics that you guys have been asking me. So let's get right into it. First topic we're going to discuss is moving out at a young age. First and foremost, my mom is my witness. Plan ahead. I planned literally a year before I made my decision on where I'm going to go because I wanted to just have like a state of mind, like how much income I should be bringing in monthly. Because when it comes to apartments, I don't know about houses, but I know for apartments you need to make at least 3 times the amount. So let's say for instance my rent is $3,000. I have to make 3 times of my rent, which will be $9,000 a month. So keeping that in mind, you want to like look for places around that price range. If you're making around that much a month or however much you're making, you can be making $5,000 a month. 5 times 3, 15,000. You have to like, you know, keep up. You have to really think about like, okay, whatever I'm making times 3, I have to look for places that are like, you know, reflected on that. So, and one thing I really did, which I feel like is really important that nobody really talks about, even when I was watching these videos myself, is knowing your budget. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, just save up money, save up at least $10,000 so you can at least like, you know, have money. Now I do agree that's a very important choice to make. It's very good for the long run. Let's say for instance you take off days because you're sick and your job ends up not paying you. You're like, oh my god, I need my paycheck to be this much so I can pay my rent. And you have money aside to do that. But honestly, I feel like the real way you could end up with not even touching that money, actually saving it for years to come for your house or your car, whatever in the future, is knowing your budget. When I mean by knowing your budget, I don't mean like what I just said, like, oh, your monthly income is $2,000, so make sure you get an apartment that's $2,000. Because if you really think about it, if your monthly income is $2,000 and you're going for an apartment that's $2,000, how do you really expect to really afford that income if you're gonna give them exactly how much you are making? Like, how do you expect to afford like paying for groceries and gas? You know, if you're a girl, get your hair done, your nails done, your lashes done, like how are you gonna be able to afford any of that expenses that you want to do for yourself to make yourself happy if you gotta give them literally all you make? And it's not funny, but it's really ironic how I notice people on TikTok, like even if it's a joke or not, they be like, oh, I just got enough to afford an apartment but no furniture. And it's like, yeah, that really is reality. That really could happen because a lot of apartments do have hidden fees. They'll tell you like, oh, the rent is $1,500, and you get there and it's like, okay, security deposit is $600 because you're moving it at the middle of the month, which is kind of inconvenient for us because you should move it in the beginning of the month because that's when you could have paid your rent exactly $1,500, you know, blah 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 blah. And then they want to charge you for like extra expenses. Then you get the parking fee, and then you have like literally all these other things that you have to pay for, and that is something that you have to be aware of. This is why I say to make sure you budget, because I did that as well. I made sure my budget was way lower than I make a month because I wanted to have way more money to save and use for my expenses, like my gas. I have like a whole like little section for my dogs because dog appointments are very expensive. It's ridiculous. I literally just paid $300 for my dog vet appointment. Get your dog some insurance, because that's exactly what I did right after I paid that. And even if you don't have no animals and you're just by yourself, you have to realize once you move out, you realize how expensive life is. Not even just yourself, because you might not even be a high maintenance person. It doesn't even matter. Like somehow in some way that's gonna add up and you're gonna be like, what's going on? So I'm gonna give you guys an example of what I did. These are just like numbers that I feel like are very popular because a lot of people budgets are around this price. So I want to give you guys a real relatable like price range. So the example that I chose is $1,600 is my budget. Minus that by $200. So now I have $1,400 is my budget. That's my real budget. I want to make sure that I can afford it and then some. I don't know why I thought of that, but that's like the first thing I was like doing when I started looking for apartments. And the reason why I actually suggested on doing this budget also because rent goes up every year. So when your rent goes up, you don't get surprised about it. You're like, oh, I gotta find somewhere else to live because it's going up. Because if you haven't noticed, a lot of YouTubers move a lot because their rent goes up. The rent goes up every single year. It's time for them to leave and go somewhere else. That's the reason why when I was searching for my apartment, even though I do feel like I would want something, you know, better in the future, but that's just how property managers work and that's just how they make their money. Because information inflation has been really high. If I'm really being honest, realistically, rent goes up like what, 60, 80-ish dollars. Sometimes in some locations, sometimes 100-ish, $200. Also with finding an apartment, you also need to start your credit. Also research neighborhoods. Is it safe? Is it commute available around for you if you need somewhere to go? Next one is always have a backup plan. Never set your mind on one special apartment. Sometimes it don't work out how you want them to. Have multiple options in mind. Now, this is something that I did not do. I did it, but I did not do, if that makes any sense, because I knew that I wouldn't get accepted to every apartment, but I still had that one apartment that I got accepted to. That's the crazy part. I got accepted to the apartment, I got approved, everything. I took my deposit, y'all, and everything, and I had a move-in date and all. And then like literally a week later, they tell me, oh no, that was a mistake. And I didn't have backup plans. Like, I thought I was good. Like, I feel like I had backup plans when I was searching for apartments, but once I got approved for that one that I really wanted, I was like, oh, forget everybody else. And then I was like, oh, now I don't have nothing. So make sure, like I said, you have a backup plan because it's very important. Now, moving on, something I really want to mention, I mentioned this earlier for my questions that you guys had asked me on Instagram. Mental health. Mental health is very important, and I cannot stress this enough. You're probably wondering, like, why am I even mentioning this if I'm talking about how to move out at a young age? Because you're just like not with who you're usually with. You're not with your family. I mean, you do have your parents, but it's like, it's very different obviously when you move out, because it's like, you know, you're by yourself now. It's like you're on your own. Things are becoming new to you, so make sure that this is the choice that you want and you can maintain it. And when I say maintain it, I don't just mean it financially, I also mean mentally, because if you're not there mentally, chances are you won't be there financially. So make sure you're in the right headspace, you have everything together. And last but not least, just make sure that you're ready to move out, because when you move back, it will never feel the same. So just keep that in mind. I just feel like at that point, it's like there's no turning back. I mean, you can, but it's like it does not feel the same. You went from having freedom to now you're back in your parents' house, and it's like you don't have your freedom like how you want to anymore. So just keep that in mind. But I didn't rush to move out. I just planned on going to school, and I just knew like, okay, I'm gonna move out because I'm going to school and going to different states, so I might as well. You know, I'm so sorry for the lighting changes and the angle changes. Like, it's just, this whole setup is ghetto. You guys don't know. If you have no other reason to move out, I feel like besides you going to school or start building your life financially, whether it's a job or you feel like opportunities are out there for your job, I would say to stay at home as long as you can, because you have so much more time. Like I said, you stack your money up. Who knows, you can even buy a house by the time you're like, what, 24? But I also don't want you guys to think that I'm not saying move at a young age, because if your heart is into it, then do it. If you could do it, then do it. Because if I could do it, I feel like you could do it. Oh, Icy doing it, like you could do it too. You just have to have your mind into it and your heart into it. If your heart and mind is not into it, then don't make it happen unless you're ready, because once you're ready, you're gonna know for sure, and you're gonna feel great about your decision, and you're not gonna regret it. That is all the questions, y'all, and all the topics I have for today. I honestly only talked about one big topic because I feel like I'm talking for so long, and I know you're tired of me. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I could go on for a little bit longer, but I'm not gonna let you guys sit through a 40-minute video. But I hope you guys enjoyed my life update, and I hope I was able to cover everything you guys need to be updated with for now on my life, and also cover a lot of tips for moving out at a young age and just moving out in general. If you guys have any more questions, let me know in the description below. I will try to answer all you guys, and also give your tips as well, because there's so many tips out there for moving out at a young age, moving out in general. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, pretties.